Hey gamers, what is going on? We're back with a brand new episode of the Batcast, where we take a look at Batman news, current Batman news, and kind of dissect it and talk about it. And yeah, but before we get started, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for some more content. So I have a singular topic today. I went on like different news sites, and it didn't look like there's anything else really interesting happening in the DC universe. But the one thing I did want to talk about is the upcoming Flash film, set to come out June 16th of this year. And it's supposed to be casting Michael Keaton as Batman. Um, I can't remember his name right now, but the guy who did the Justice League as Flash. So, you know, that a lot of different people that are kind of big in DC media or were big in DC media, and from what I saw, that it's going to be a decently good film. I have no idea what the premise of the film is supposed to be about. Um, I believe Flash gets caught in some kind of like different dimension kind of thing, and that's where he meets Bruce Wayne as Batman. But the one thing I really wanted to talk about was Keaton being casted once again as Batman, because he hasn't been cast in as Batman since '92 when he finished his Batman Returns movie. And I want to say that for what Burton did to Keaton, he was the reason Keaton's name was big in Hollywood, because Burton made this extremely successful, 1989 Batman, very dark but successful movie, and I want to say that was the sole projector of Keaton's career, and that was the reason why Keaton got so many different deals. For him to kind of return to the cowl as this older, much more frail Batman, I feel like will be really cool to see, especially because we haven't seen it since 1992. And I, from what I saw, he's able to glide with his cape. His cape, I think, is one of the coolest parts about his current suit. It just looks so alive, and that's what you're really aiming for when you kind of do a superhero, is just a cool cape, especially when you're doing someone with Batman, where without the cape he would really be a nobody. Well, not like a nobody, but he would be much different without his cape. And I feel like the cape really complements the hero himself. So to have a cape that looks really cool is something really big to me, and would add a lot to the movie. And from what I saw, it looks really cool in the movie. You know, so I'm really excited about it. But besides that kind of stuff, I really haven't seen anything else about the movie. Either I just haven't researched enough, or DC hasn't released enough. They did release, I believe, one trailer now for the movie, which is exciting. And yeah, I can't wait for it, because like I said, it's going to be Keaton's kind of return to cinema. And recently I don't feel like Keaton's had very many big roles, and I could see him kind of doing, like, if this movie does really well, I could see him picking up different roles that people offer him and having much bigger roles. I don't know how Keaton currently stands on whether he wants to retire or not, but um, you know, if this is his last movie, which I'm sure it isn't, because Keaton's just not like that. Um, then I would want to definitely go out in one of the coolest ways possible, and that would be playing as one of the characters that kind of jet started my career. So it's really interesting stuff. Yeah, Anyway, moving on. I know I only said that there was one piece of news I had today, but there are two. Titans, the next season of Titans has been released and is set to come out later this year. I don't get it. I think Titans it is like it's only really celebrated between DC fans. Like it's not something like I don't know, grasping for straws, but it's not something like let's just take like it's nothing like The Last of Us where everyone's watching like every single episode as it releases. Like it's nothing like that. It's just between DC fans, it seems like, who's really watching the show. And I don't understand why they keep trying to make it work, because I don't honestly know how much money it's getting WB or the streaming platform to keep it there. It just seems like a very dead series. And I finished season 2. I wanted to watch season 3 when it came out, but I never found, I never found myself finishing season 2 because it was just dull and boring. And, really nothing happened in it. I can't name a single thing worth notes, besides the fact that, I believe that was, no, Jason. Besides the fact that Jason Todd was dating Red Hood, or, Deathstroke's daughter. Like, that was the only thing worth noting in the whole series for me, and I can't think of anything else legitimately. It just seemed more like a teenage drama that just didn't need to happen. But yeah, they're gonna be coming out with another season. Hopefully people are gonna be more excited for it, because that'll get me maybe on the bandwagon and talking about the episodes here. But honestly, I don't think I will, because it just seems like, oh yeah, we're releasing this. Speaking of which, DC has been doing that a lot more recently, if you guys have noticed that. They've just been dropping random series. Like, not dropping them, like stopping them, but just dropping names of new series they're doing. They dropped Pennyworth. They have a couple, Blue Beetle's a movie. But they announced like a bunch of different TV shows that they're doing, and I'm like, I was just sitting there like, seriously? Like, what's the reason of releasing all these? Like, there really is none, besides the fact that they're trying to pertain to an audience that is non-existent, which I don't understand. But, it's DC's money, not mine. That's why I'm fine with it. And, especially with the Pennyworth series or something like Batwoman, like, who's actually watching these? So I want to know what is going on with the DC executives, if they just need something to fill the void while they're getting their next big because that seems to be what happens with DC is, oh, while they're getting their next big project done, they're going to release some like unimportant Elseworld story until they get that project done, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense. But once again, it's not my money, it's DC's, so but yeah, it just, especially with something like Titans, where they have a bunch of potential with the episodes, because they, Titans is a current project. Not a current project, but like, a current comic book series also. They could draw some of those comic book stories into live action, but it just doesn't seem that way. And they're just, I don't know, like I said, the series just isn't that interesting. So I don't know why they keep trying to make it work, but it won't, and it doesn't take a genius to tell them that. I don't know. It just seems like all DC does is small series, big movie, until, they just keep repeating that, and it's kind of tiring. And I feel like the numbers really didn't help them when Justice League came out, and they were like, oh, this strategy doesn't work every single time. And so, I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future, though. Although this year does look exciting, I think Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League comes out, which I am extremely excited for. Um, another story in the um, Arkham series, and Kevin Conroy's final um, portray of Batman before he sadly passed away last year or this year. And yeah, I'm really excited for it. I'm hoping that they do Kevin justice because that is what he deserves. And I haven't really spoke publicly at all about Kevin's death, but I don't know, it came rather surprising. It was quick and sudden, and the news disappeared all as much. And I haven't really mourned, I want to say, because Kevin was such a big part of many people's lives. And he just, I don't know. It was extremely sad and weird, I want to say, moment where it was just like, holy crap, like he's dead. Like it took me way too long to compute because it just seemed like Kevin could never die. Kevin was, Kevin Conroy. He was Batman. Batman can't die, And it was sad when the news came out that he had passed. So I'm hoping his family's doing well as I'm trying to hold up the best I can in his absence. But like I said, I didn't really mourn it. I was just too shocked to say or do anything, and I just sat like staring at my phone at the newsletter that I was reading, and it just didn't seem possible. We really had gotten no news that Kevin was dying until it was like, oh yeah, by the way, Kevin Conroy died. It was rather surprising. It was a lot like the Queen's death, where it was just like, she's not looking good, okay, she's dead. And I think that's a lot of deaths because it is so sudden and no one knows when it's going to happen. But for Kevin's especially, it just seemed like people saw it and scrolled. And it was sad because, he did play such a big role in many people's lives. And, yeah, it was sad to say the least. But anyway, to get on a much lighter note, now that I'm done talking about all the rage that has and sadness that has built up inside of me, the Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League comes out, and yeah, I'm hoping it is going to be a lot like the 2020, 2022, 2021 Suicide Squad movie, where it was from what it seemed like, it seemed a lot like that, except Captain Boomerang was still alive and he didn't, kill himself so quickly, which I thought was hilarious because Boomerang's just really cocky regardless, but to have him die that quickly was hilarious in the movie. But I'm hoping that the game will be good. We haven't gotten a lot of news. Rocksteady's been kind of quiet about it, which is never good for any game developer to be, but especially with such a big company as Rocksteady. And besides that, I don't know what the public is currently thinking on the game, if they're knowing of its existence, if they're planning to buy it when it comes out. You know, especially with a lot of modern DC stuff, it's really hit or miss, like, or news in general. Like, the last hit or miss the last public thing that everyone was doing, like, who's like, oh, we should all, like, everyone's already doing this, so let's just get in on the fun, was the Super Mario movie, and that was because it wasn't like a Sonic movie where it was just like thrown in there to, make Hollywood some money. It was an actual good movie, but it always, for DC especially, seems very hit or miss. Like, ooh, it's either going to be a massive series or it's going to suck. And I want to say DC's never made a good TV show because I don't know why. It wouldn't be hard to, but it's DC, so they have to make everything 20 times harder than it really needs to be. But it, I honestly don't know how the game will be. Um, the last really big game DC worked on was Gotham Knights, and I feel like only, you know, actual gamers played it and comic book fans. Like, not a lot of other people who, just knew about it played it. Oh, and Hogwarts Legacy, I guess. Hogwarts Legacy wasn't developed by them, but it was a big hit. But it didn't, it didn't really make any treads in the water. So hopefully Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League does much better than that had done. And yeah, I think that is about everything I had planned for today. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Go check out Suri a lot. His channel is down below. On Mondays, I am finishing up currently the Walking Dead game. And so if you guys have not checked that out yet, go ahead. And I think that is about it. Oh yeah, the episodes released every single Monday at 8:30 p.m. Especially except I want to say for one episode where two episodes were released in one day, but that's because the one episode was only like 10 minutes long, so I justified it. But yeah, yeah, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.